Hello! I am back with another DoDonPachi Resurrection 1cc, this time with A Strong. And what I'm doing here is I really like this game, so I'm gonna clear the game likely with every ship type and style. But ultimately my goal for this game is to get a 2-all, either in a multi 2-all or, well, at least in a multi 2-all and maybe an Euro 2-all. And I'm trying to figure out which ship type and style that I want to use, and I figured I'd go for the ship type first. And you can see I'm doing I'm getting a little more confident in my gameplay here, so I'm doing some strategies that you might often see in some scoring replays where you'll rack up the hit counter here, but something really too special. I'm just kind of trying to branch out and get more confidence. But anyways, my first goal, and I want to pick the ship type and style that I'm most comfortable with, so I figured I'd try to find the ship type that I like best in this game first. And I feel like the best way you can find your most compatible ship type in this game is by playing the strong style, because it gives you the best of both worlds. You get a strong laser, you get a wide shot, both of which are really powerful in this style. So you'll see after I play, I played, this will be the third ship type that I've played with strong style, and so I'll have to decide which one I want to go with, and then of course I'll pick the style that I want to go. So when you think about the style that you play in this game, people generally say, unless you're going for swag, like a swag clear, you go bomb style, but in general you pick between strong and power, because bomb is a weaker strong style. So but I mean, I'm not ruling out bomb style. But yeah, I'll likely pick between strong or power, but I'll clear the game in bomb style to see how it is. So this first stage, I really like the first stage in this game. It gives it eases you into the game very well, and lets you kind of experiment with the mechanics. So I think this is a really well done first stage for a cave game or for a bullet hell. So we're in stage 2 now. It ramps up a little bit, and one thing I actually particularly like about A Strong is, well, first the A ship, because of its concentrated shot that is forward, it deals a lot more damage to all the frontal enemies that you fire upon. Of course, there isn't as much coverage, which in certain situations where you have a lot of popcorn enemies flooding from both sides of the screen, like kind of like right here, you get less coverage, so you have to make sure to find your lanes a little bit better. But here, for mid bosses and bosses, look at the damage that I'm doing to this boss right now. It's just, I've basically skipped the third pattern. Like after 2 patterns, and mid boss is already destroyed. So A Strong is, I call it like the boss killer. And you'll see for later bosses too that I'll just melt the health bar, and I'll avoid patterns that I would have had to dodge with other ship types, like especially like C Strong. So and then the strong style with the Type A ship does, even though the shot is concentrated forward, I feel like it's wide enough. It's pretty wide to begin with. Doesn't cover the whole screen, but it's a comfortable width for me. And then the Type A ship does move faster, so I'm a big fan of faster moving ships, which are an advantage for macro dodging, not so much for micro dodging. But I like being able to zip around the screen and do what I need to do. So here we are on the stage 2 boss, and doing pretty well so far. I have full bomb stock, and especially point blanking with A Strong, you do a lot of damage. And so you're sneaking by the lanes here, and not too bad so far. And this game is really good about giving you a lot of resources, so if I'm uncomfortable, I'll just hyper, and then even when you're in a hyper, you have your auto bomb. And this is a good example. A Strong is really good at bullet canceling. With all the frontal shot power, you can just wipe out any bullets when you're in hyper mode. So very convenient. And then here, normally you would have to dodge this pattern with other ship types. You'd have to dodge this pattern, possibly the next one, but the first ring of bullets didn't even hit me before the boss already got destroyed. So far I think, yeah, I'm really liking A strong. I haven't tried A power yet, but the A type ship is, I think, so far is my favorite one to play with. The type B ship is really good too because of the sway. But yeah. So stage 3, with stage 3, those ships that pop up in the middle, you have to destroy them as fast as possible or else they're going to flood the screen. So another reason why I like the ship type, you kind of just, the laser just melts them pretty quickly. A couple of tight dodges there, and this is kind of a disadvantage here where you have to get really used to dodging between the tight lanes of bullets because I don't have a spread shot to cover me and destroy the popcorn enemies on the side. So enemy prioritization is really important here. The routing is a little bit more important. It's a bit harder to wing it with an arrow shot, I feel like. So especially like right there, I would have gotten a hit, so I activated a hyper, and I almost got hit again, but I had lasered just in time. And looking at my hyper rank is 1, and I'm looking at the notch right in the circle that's around my ship. The number of notches that you see there is the hyper rank that I get from 1 through 5. So my hyper rank 1, so I can still cancel most of the bullets. Once I hit hyper rank 5, then I start to get in a little bit of trouble here. But there's one where I should have manually bombed. I'm still training my bomb reflex, so to speak, where I get not too greedy, but I get too proud. I'm like, I can dodge this, I can dodge through it, and I end up getting hit. And yeah, you do get auto bombs in this game, but triggering an auto bomb, I got trapped there in the corner and I lost a life. But I used my invulnerability frames and point blank the boss and just melted the life bar, so there's a little revenge there. But yeah, triggering a manual bomb in this game, the duration is so much less than. Actually, no, I got it backwards. Triggering an auto bomb, the duration is way less than a regular bomb. So try not to be a hero and bomb when you need to. Except in this part coming up where you get the secret extend. As long as I do not destroy this tower coming up with a bomb, then, or I think destroy or damage this tower with a bomb, then I'll get the secret extend. And you'll see some cases where, it doesn't happen in this run, but it's happened in a few other runs where I'll get hit, I'll trigger an auto bomb, but the bomb does not touch the tower, and I end up getting the secret extend anyway, so kind of works out that way. And you'll see here with these runs, I'm not going for any type of score. I probably should optimize a little bit more for score to get the second score extend, but it's not too bad. With the amount of resources you get, even missing the second score extend isn't too bad in terms of getting the 1-all. So dodging the lanes here, and usually after that third volley you have to let go of the laser to get more speed to dodge through that. And then this one usually gets me because towards the end the bullets speed up and they curve more, so with the hyper gets me through that, and then of course the damage output lets me end that pattern faster. So I think of it as, you play type A if you're weaker against bosses, so you can end bosses faster and not have to dodge many other patterns. And then you play type C or a wider type shot if you have more trouble in the stages where you have more enemies flooding you, and you can last longer in the bosses and dodge boss patterns easier. So I'm of the former. I like defeating the bosses faster because those patterns get really nasty, and in the stages I can generally hold my own and route around these bullets. Like especially here, this gets pretty fast here, and yeah, I'm really enjoying the high damage output of this laser. to destroy, especially this ship right here, where normally you'd have to dodge a little bit longer there. So, yeah. Just finding the lane there, do a little cutback, couple of cutbacks, and not too much of a problem here. These, I get kind of trapped, so I hear I'm using my hyper defensively, which is really powerful, and I've only used one hyper, so your very first hyper, your rank is set to 1, so you essentially cancel every bullet on the screen. And then of course if you cancel too many lasers, I get those danger lasers there that target you, and they fire revenge bullets when you destroy them. So here I'm at the mid-boss, and yeah, the health bar is just really going down. This is what I'm talking about. This is the boss killer ship, so I'm not in any sort of stress right now. Just destroyed it, no problem, and then I position myself on the side here because I know the rush is coming. And I'm playing in the middle of the screen a little bit aggressive because I want to destroy the ships as fast as possible, but I forgot about that laser that comes in on the side, and since I was doing my regular shot, the laser went right through me. Activate my hyper because I would have gotten hit, and then I'm just strafing back and forth to eliminate these lasers as fast as possible, but yeah, those bullets are coming in pretty fast, and that's where the extra coverage would have helped me there, but that's okay. Alright, heading down here, just strafing and doing really quick bullet hurting, since I don't have the advantage of inducing slowdown. And if you watch my C Strong replay, and if you play C Strong, you'll notice that the Type C regular shot fires more bullets. The more bullets fill the screen, so you can kind of induce slowdown in the game. If you see a huge flood of bullets coming towards you, you can activate the regular shot and trigger slowdown. That isn't really so much the case here with the Type A ship. So sometimes like the bullets come really fast at you and you can't react in time. So just be wary of that. And I'm almost at the end of the level. I activate hyper, and that was kind of weird where I activated hyper a fraction of a second too late after I got hit and triggered the auto bomb. So that was kind of a little bit of a bummer there, but I get a bomb back, so that's fine. I'm heading into the stage 4 boss, and this one is an example where the high damage output helps. With this first phase, there's a trick where you can destroy all but one of those rockets there. I haven't really nailed that down yet, so I miss an opportunity to really get to the top of the screen quickly, but the rockets just float down the screen, and the boss just floats there until the rockets clear the screen. And if you destroy those rockets too soon, then the boss will start the next phase, or the next pattern, but for the most part that was pretty easy. So I hang out on the side here to misdirect that one, and then I try to go to the left, but I don't quite make it, so I have to dodge this nasty pattern, and I get hit there. That one's really nasty. And here is follow the lane, and then I can't point blank the boss here, but I'm doing pretty good damage, so I don't really have to dodge much here. And then this one especially, dodge the lanes and then let go of the laser if you need to, or hyper, so I hyper here defensively. And this is the last pattern here that can, yeah, that's, oh, so close, and I usually get hit there. I have to practice that pattern, because I typically get hit there, and there I lost a life because I didn't have any bombs left. But I'm doing really well, stage 5, 2 extends, and with full bomb stock, so I'm pretty confident at this point that I'm going to clear, but my stage 5 needs a lot of work. So this, you'll see this is going to be another kind of sloppy, very sloppy stage 5, which is good to have plenty of resources to cover myself, but yeah, it's definitely something I need to practice and route, especially because it's the longest stage of the game. So I activate the manual bomb, so I take advantage of the long duration here, and I'm trying to time when I'm going to cross the lasers. And here, especially in the beginning, I end up getting hit a lot of times. So thought I had destroyed that tank on the right, but I didn't. Weaving back and forth. And then I'm heading up towards the mid-boss, which the stage 5 regular mid-boss is much harder than the Ura route stage 5 mid-boss. And typically like 2 manual bombs does it, but I got greedy and thought I could dodge through those patterns. Shame on me. And so I triggered 2 auto bombs, and I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm not going to take credit for that. That was like a miracle dodge right there. And then this is pretty nasty, and so yeah, I'm surprised it did not lose a life on that one. But there you go. And so now I have a hyper, activating hyper to cancel these bullets. This is a really, really good way to practice your bullet hurting and streaming. But of course, if you have a hyper and you're activating it, I have a hyper rank of 2, so I can just hang out, move back and forth, and cancel all the bullets. And I don't think I got any danger lasers here, which is great as well. Got a few stragglers coming up, and now we're heading up onto the laser wheels. And then, whew, another another clutch dodge there. I didn't think I would get that dodge, but I have no bomb and no hyper, so, and I wasn't in position, so yeah, I was going to lose a life there. So usually in the beginning part of this laser wheel section, either using a bomb or using a hyper will let you get through. I got the hyper just in time, so I use it, and I use the invulnerable frames to pass right through the lasers, and I'm coming all the way back up here, and then coming back and forth and just bullet canceling as many bullets as I can here before the second round of the lasers. This one's interesting because first it takes you to the left and then it brings you back down, and while you're dodging those lasers you get waves of popcorn enemies that fly from different parts of the screen, so it kind of forces you to strafe left and right. Of course you can't strafe all the way left, so I try to go all the way to the corner here, and I didn't quite make it, so I activated my hyper, canceling bullets. And a good way to kind of get through it if you have a hyper active is, like I'm doing, you swap between laser and your regular shot, because I found there's like a little bit of a delay when you cancel a laser, you switch to your regular shot, you have a tiny bit of time to kind of maneuver around before the laser comes back. It takes like a little bit of time for the laser to reach your ship again after you counter it. So swapping between the 2 shots when you have your hyperactive helps you maneuver through those lasers while eliminating all the popcorn enemies. So I try to do that again here. Of course this one's a lot more difficult, and I trigger an auto bomb, and I'm waiting, hanging out here because I have to move to the right. I can't move up yet. My exit is up, and I get greedy and I thought I could sneak my way up to the top, so I knew I was going to get hit. I trigger a bomb, but yeah, the exit is towards the top. And then, yeah, somehow I got hit again, but you can see, yeah, I'm using up a lot of bombs. So I'm actually getting a little bit nervous that at this point I'm like, wait, maybe I'm not actually going to clear this game, because I have essentially 2 bombs on this life and then another 6 of 8 bombs, and I need a few for the boss. So at this point I have to be careful, because I might actually not clear this. But since I've gotten hit so many times, my hyper rank is basically reset to 1, so the next time I use my hyper I can pretty much get the full screen cancel here. Use my bomb because I got trapped, and that's another place where some extra coverage, a wider shot, would have helped me. Here's the bomb carrier that you have to get right away, because as soon as you destroy that bomb carrier, everyone comes, like the screen just gets completely full of bullets and enemies. So, and then here you strafe left and right, because these kind of spinning tanks shoot these whips of bullets at you. And then here, enemy prioritization is really important and something I could work on for this section as well, because I get into nasty situations where I have to make these really tight cutbacks that you're seeing here. But so far, so good. Use my hyper, and then I'm at hyper rank 4. So the bullets aren't getting canceled as well. So since I couldn't really cancel them as much, I got hit because I couldn't cut back through that diagonal line of bullets. Interesting thing about your hyper in this game as well is related to your combo meter and your chain, where if you consistently drop your chain and you drop your combos, your hyper meter actually goes down. So that's one disadvantage, especially if you don't have a bomb available, or if you're not really playing for scoring, you're going for pure survival. At certain points you should maintain your chain so that your hyper meter can increase. It's essentially, and then you can, once you have your hyper meter, it won't go down once it is full. But while it's filling up, it can decrease by a little bit when your chain goes away. So I thought I could do that cut back. And I was right at the end there and I got hit. So this is another point. I'm not going to pick up the bomb because it'll be a waste if I pick it up. And then here I'm a little nervous. I'm like, well, maybe I won't clear it, so I'm just gonna use my hyper, and then I accidentally picked up the bomb anyway, so I ended up losing it. But this is where example of I'm gonna use my bomb and do as much point blank damage as possible. Got another hyper, activate it, and I destroy the first phase. Whew, I squeaked by that pattern. Thought I was gonna get hit. And especially the stage 5 boss here, when it's transitioning between forms, you can point blank the boss, and this is where A Strong just really comes in. Look at this, I'm barely doing anything, and I'll admit those were some clutch miracle dodges here where I did not get hit. I'm quite impressed with my reflexes, but I ended up not using any bombs in this, or using one bomb in this fight. So it actually turned out quite well. And yeah, I think this is a great, if you're looking for a first cave clear or one of your first shmup clears, I think this is a really good option to get a DoDonPachi Resurrection 1-all. And my advice, if it's if your first time playing this game or any shmup, and you're starting with this one, start off with strong style, because you get the advantage of having all of the auto bombs available, and it's, you have the most powerful laser, and no matter what ship you pick, you get a pretty wide shot. Even with the Type A ship, your shot width is pretty wide if you were to compare it to other games that have a narrow shot. So anyways, I hope you found this commentary helpful, and I'll be back soon with more DoDonPachi Resurrection clears and commentaries. This game is incredibly fun, so I'm gonna go through and try to find the ship that I want to pick to try to get a 2-all in. I never had gotten a 2-all before, so anyways, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.